What's up, guys, and welcome back to the Stocks with Mike and Tom show. We have a lot of great info to go over in today's episode. We're going to be talking about how the market broke all-time highs again today and some of the best plays for the rest of this week. Overall, we have some great news and a lot of good info in today's video. If you are new here, don't forget to subscribe and also join the StockedUp Discord. The link for that will be in the comments down below. It's completely free, and you can join and network with 13,000 other traders. But with that being said, Tom, let's get right into today's video.
Yeah, for sure. And the SPY broke out to all-time highs, like you said, up to 430.60 here. It closed really strong today and had a great move all day long. And CNBC reported that there were some good jobless claim numbers. We saw the jobless claims come in at 364,000, setting a new pandemic low. And economists polled by Dow Jones are expecting initial claims for unemployment totaled 390,000 last week, after totaling 415,000 for the week ending of June 19th. So it is good to see the initial jobless claims going down. Of course, that's showing that more people are getting jobs again and that the economy is getting slightly better. And it's nice to see the SPY at all-time highs. The QQQ and the Dow did kind of they did not perform as well as the SPY did. They kind of lagged behind, but that's kind of what happens whenever you have the S&P 500 moving the way it did. And a lot of stocks were moving pretty well today, and we saw some pullback. So it was a little mixed across the board, but overall, it was nice to see the SPY moving.
Good stuff. So yeah, we had a lot of good movement today, especially with the SPY. And then I also saw that oil stocks were going crazy this morning. If we look at CVX or ExxonMobil or even OXY, Oxy, it had a pretty good day overall. What's the news going on here?
Yeah, OPEC was actually supposed to meet today and have a meeting, but it says that CNBC reports that OPEC Plus delayed their meeting by one day to Friday after a key member of the United Arab Emirates was unwilling to go along with the reported preliminary deal for a 0.5 million barrel per day hike that Saudi Arabia and Russia struck on Thursday. And an analyst from Commerce Bank says in quotes, "In our opinion, such an increase of 500,000 barrels per day in August would hardly be able to prevent a further rise in oil prices, given that OPEC estimates that the market will be 1.9 million barrels per day short in the second half of the year." So they're saying that this increase doesn't even help it anyways. But in the end, we saw crude oil kind of pop up early in the morning, and we saw these oil stocks move. So hopefully at the meeting tomorrow, they can kind of get things confirmed, and maybe we'll see even more movement. But it was awesome to see this energy sector moving the way it did. But I guess since the deal got canceled, a lot of them pulled back, but the big ones like CVX kind of held their levels.
For sure. And then, Tom, I know that, we're all talking about the news with Robinhood being fined like $70 million. Some people say it's nowhere near enough. And quite frankly, I agree with them. But, we are, Robinhood has an IPO pretty soon. And I heard that there was some news with that today. Fill us in.
Yeah, CNBC reports that Robinhood has 18 million accounts with $80 billion in assets after rapid growth. One of their IPO filings showed today. And Robinhood has grown its funded accounts, those of which have accounts linked to them, to 18 million in March of this year from 7.2 million in March of 2020. That's an increase of 151%. And that's probably coming on the AMC news and the GameStop news that's just sending a ton of traders into the market. And we saw those actually falling down today. But nonetheless, they say that assets under custody have ballooned to roughly $80 billion from $19.2 billion last March. So that's awesome for them. They have a lot more money, flowing through them right now. But it says that the company said it plans to trade under the symbol HOOD or HOOD on the NASDAQ. But however, the brokerage did lose $1.4 billion in the first quarter of 2021, tied to emergency fundraising related losses during January's GameStop trading mania. And you guys can look up a video where Elon Musk interviews the CEO of Robinhood, and they kind of talk about those types of costs that made him lose $1.4 billion in the first quarter of this year.
Yeah, so that's some big news. I'm very curious to see how the Robinhood IPO will do. I'll definitely be watching ticker symbol Hood over the next couple months, and it's just interesting news overall. The market did break all time highs, like I said. Really, oil stocks had the main movement today. OXY was like one of the top ones, finishing up around 5%. I was also watching stocks like Disney today. They had a nice rally, and stocks like Disney, you're not going to see them on like headlines because they're not going to have these crazy movements like Tesla or NIO will have, but it's just a nice slow and steady stock that I like over the next couple weeks. And then another one I really had my eyes on was Facebook. It had a pretty nice recovery today.
Yeah, it actually did, and it might go up to all-time highs with that, with the way that the FTC actually dropped an antitrust lawsuit against them a couple days ago, and you can see how much that made them pop up. And I would not be surprised if they could break above that 358 resistance and maybe run up to 360 or something like that.
Alrighty, well, let's get right into our member of the day and then the momentum plays. Today's member of the day is Sylvia B. Huge shout out, Sylvia. Thanks for being a great positive member. I know you've been around for a while, so thanks for all of your positivity and all of your activity in the chat. We really appreciate it. But now let's get right into the first momentum play for tomorrow, and that one is Home Depot to the upside.
Yeah, Home Depot and actually the Dow had a pretty good day today, but make Home Depot go ahead and break out above 321. So let's just say 322.
All right, and then with the next one, we have ORCL.
ORCL Oracle. I heard that they were running earlier today. This is an awesome move from them. Make them break out above, let's say 79.65.
All right, and then with the last one, we have WBA.
Walgreens. This one's actually to the downside with some terrible earnings. Make them break below the low of today around $48.
All right, so we are watching Home Depot and Oracle for potential day trades to the upside tomorrow, only if they break above the level Tom listed. And then we are watching WBA for a potential day trade to the downside tomorrow, only if it breaks below the levels Tom listed. But now let's get right into the $17 million trade for tomorrow. So we are looking at the Nvidia 820 strike calls for tomorrow. I'm definitely going to say that the smart money is shorting these calls. I think Nvidia is way too overextended, and I know I've been saying that for the past couple days, but it's just like a bubble waiting to burst. I love this company for the long term. I love their sector. I love their industry. I love the company, but I just think it's a little bit overextended right now.
Yeah, me too. And with it expiring tomorrow, that would be a pretty big gamble. It might have momentum. It's moving well off the SMAs. I would not be surprised if it went up, but for it to close above 820 would be a pretty big move. Like I said, I would not be surprised if it ended up happening, but personally, I would see it kind of consolidating as well. And then also keep in mind, we're going into a 3-day weekend after tomorrow. So they might be thinking that maybe Nvidia might sell off heading into that. And also keep in mind the split's still pretty far away. So while that news is prevalent and making it go up, it might not overtake like a news like a 3-day weekend or something like that.
Gotcha. So, Tom, I was looking at this stock over like the past couple weeks, and I just want to hear your thoughts on it. So, it's Airbnb. It's been lingering around this $150 level for weeks now. It tries to break out, it gets rejected, tries to break out again, and gets rejected. And it's just stuck in this cycle where the buyers try to step in and bring it up, but there's just it's just too much selling pressure. So, can you give us some levels or any major resistance levels you're watching with this one?
Yeah, for sure. And one thing I want to talk about with this one is kind of just like almost like just candlestick patterns right here. Whenever we're looking at this, and there's a pretty good support down here around 140, but that's pretty far away, and then 150 again. But looking at this with like a pattern, it's kind of stair stepping to the upside right now, to where it kind of goes up, consolidates for about a week, and then kind of dips back down and then gets bought right back up, kind of like you said. And it's kind of just doing that kind of pattern over and over and over. And right now we're on that little breakout trend once again. And tomorrow, I don't know. I would not be surprised if we ended up going back down, because it always seems like it just barely breaks out and then consolidates there, barely breaks out and consolidates. So that's what I would look for to happen tomorrow, is maybe more consolidation, or possibly maybe a move to the upside. I wouldn't necessarily look at it for a trade to the downside at all, but I could almost see it just staying maybe like right around 152 or around like 150. And whenever I'm looking at it on the 15-minute chart, 150 looks like a pretty good support. So I would look for it to hold that. But today, 152 was the bottom of today, and that also is the top of like last week. While that 150 level was more of the bottom.
I feel like this one's in a pretty good setup for those like who like to sell put options. Like if you sell the 143 puts for next week, you can get paid around $80 for doing that. One, you're buying the stock at a pretty nice discount. The expiration's very soon, and then next week there's only 4 trading days because Monday is off because of the 4th of July. So it's just a setup I'm looking at. Feel free to put it on your radar. But let's get right into the questions from the previous episode. And with the first question, we have Isaac saying, great video. Can't wait to see CCIV tomorrow. What do you guys think of BABA and PDD? So we'll cover CCIV first. It tried to run up, but it got rejected pretty hard. I like it over the next couple months, but it is more of a risky play.
Yeah, it ran up today, and some news came out yesterday that made them kind of pop up, but they do have a shareholder meeting coming up on July 22nd, and they might, move a little bit more closer to that meeting.
All right. So for what do you say? He said BABA and PDD. I'm a huge fan of both of these companies, especially. Actually, I really like both of them. So I'm a huge fan of both of them. It's not necessarily that I think that they will be up tomorrow or Tuesday or something like that. I like them over the course of like the next couple weeks or maybe even the next couple months. I like BABA for the long term right now, and I'm a huge fan of both of these setups. And then with the next comment, we have, next comment, we have Jack Tastic saying, yo, Mike and Tom, great work as always. Check out BLUE, trading close to the IPO from roughly 7 years ago. It's a biotech / gene therapy sector. Saw the run up from other gene stocks like NTLA and Edit. They're all owned by ARK. Trading near all-time lows, has a small run up recently. Thoughts on going long? Thanks, fellas. So let's check it out. BLUE. What are you thinking with this one, Tom?
I'll tell you what, if Kathy Wood owns it, she might know something, but man, maybe she was buying it up on these days where it had a ton of volume down here at the bottom. I have no idea, but I will say the chart looks pretty bad over the past few years. It hasn't reverse split or anything, so this is the actual movement. Like he said, it's almost like that IPO price of a while ago. I will say that support at $25 is pretty big. And personally, I love these types of stocks for the long term. The question is, though, is that it's just like a biomedical company. Like if their stuff doesn't get approved, different things like that happen, you see movement like this. And I don't know what's been causing this, but you can see also their earnings have been terrible. They've been negative way down in the EPS for a long time, and it just keeps getting worse. They used to be like negative 1.7. Now they're like -4, -3, looking pretty bad, but hopefully they can start to turn it around. I will say though, like if ARK and them owns them, I do like them. And I like the overall sector. Like I like ARKG, which is the genomic stock. That's probably this is probably the fund that ARK owns them through. And I do like it.
So while this play isn't for me, I don't think it's a horrible setup. It is good to see ARK buying into them. It just worries me to see this stock go from $236 all the way down to $32. I have not been following this company really that much over the past couple years. So I really haven't been following the catalyst or anything like that. These biotech stocks or this type of industry is extremely volatile, and I mean at least you're buying when it's kind of low, or you're looking at it when it's close to its lows, which is good. It's just not for me, but like I said, if ARK's buying in, that can be a good sign.
Yeah, and it is a gene editing stock, so keep in mind it is like one of those it has like one of those like weird catalysts to it, kind of like the marijuana stocks and stuff like that, where a lot of those gene editing stocks, they kind of like move together.
All right, then we have Hunter M saying, will you cover JMIA, please? Let's check it out. JMIA, it's been lingering around this like $30 level for like the past couple weeks or so. I like it for the long term. For the short term, it's not bad. It's not my favorite setup though. For the short term, I wouldn't mind selling puts on it or, averaging into shares or maybe leaps, but it's probably too early for that. But it's more of just like a long-term setup to me.
Yeah, and I just think in the short term, I would just wait it out a little bit and see how it starts to go. And if it starts to rip up, then maybe just start going long and it might start to run.
All right. Well, Tom, do you have any last-minute stocks or anything you're watching for tomorrow?
I'm still watching Boeing and Lockheed Martin. They've been kind of moving pretty weirdly today. I will say, especially like on the daily chart, kind of consolidating down here, having a good support at like 235. I like the move, and hopefully it can start to get going because it's been kind of consolidating down here at the bottom. I like how it hit off that 238.80 level later in the day today, and then bounced right back up off of that. And also the Dow had a pretty good day, so we might see a turnaround out of like some of these airlines and some of these Dow stocks that have been kind of like going down lately while the growth stocks have been flying.
Good stuff. Well, thank you guys so much for watching today's video. Remember, if you want to trade with Tom, myself, and our custom bots every single day, make sure to click the first link in the description down below. The coupon is expiring this week. You can cancel it anytime, so definitely check it out. Of course, the bots aren't magical or anything like that, but they have been really hot, and overall, they do pretty well, so definitely check it out. Day trading bots, swing trading, order flow, a ton of custom bots, and a great community to support you, so definitely check it out and let us know some of the top stocks you are watching for tomorrow. If you guys want to trade with Tom and I live every single day at market open, you can click the Stocked Up Live YouTube channel in the description down below. But other than that, thanks for watching.